We have some breaking news to get into on All-Pro linebacker Fred Warner going into the Seahawks game in the divisional round on Saturday night. A Ricky Pearsall injury update as well. And will the Niners make a roster move outside of what we talked about yesterday about the possibility of the Niners putting in a waiver claim for Darrell Taylor, a defensive end and pass rusher of the Houston Texans? That is the 49ers Report Rundown. My name is Chase Senior. So glad all of you are hanging out here with me. Here is the breaking news on linebacker Fred Warner. This seemed impossible a couple of months ago. Sunday afternoon, Niners on the road against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Fred Warner suffers that gruesome ankle injury. We thought his season was over for sure. We'll see in 2026, All-Pro Fred, so that you can continue to build toward that future Hall of Fame career. But how about this? The Niners opening up his practice window for this week. Now, the plan as of right now is that Fred Warner would not play in this game against the Seahawks in the divisional round. But if the Niners advance to the NFC Championship game, that's the Final Four. The right to play in Super Bowl 60, which is at Levi's Stadium, that is when Fred Warner would make his return. But in opening up his practice window, that means that the Niners, if Fred Warner was ready to go in this game against the Seahawks, would be eligible to play if the Niners activated him. What a recovery this has been. He suffered that broken and dislocated ankle back on October 12th, recording this show Tuesday, January 13th. That was only like 3 months ago. Tyreek Hill, the wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins, got wind of how quickly along Warner was in his recovery. He tweeted out the other day, "Hey, Fred, who are your doctors? Who are your trainers?" So this practice window is opening so quickly after this injury. Warner has spent hours on end every day rehabilitating. He's in the hyperbaric chamber. He's doing everything that he can so that he can potentially, not even for sure, potentially rejoin his teammates with this Niners defense. This also allows Fred Warner to do what he did today. Go through walkthroughs so that he can be in the loop, in the know with what the Niners defense is doing and how they're preparing for this game against the Seahawks. All the Niners have to do is get past Seattle and Warner could return. Shoot, if the Niners doctors clear him and Fred Warner's looking good and feeling good, there's an outside chance he might be able to play in this game against the Seahawks. And if San Francisco can win on Saturday, think about the emotional boost that Warner gives them. Think about the morale boost that Fred Warner would give this team. And then on the field, obviously, he's a spectacular player. Prior to that injury, friendly fire from Ji'Ayir Brown against the Bucs, Warner was once again putting together an all-pro caliber season. He was in the running again for Defensive Player of the Year. This is also a guy who suffered a broken bone in his ankle in Week 4 last year and played every game the rest of the season. He's so tough, but also recovers very quickly. In those 6 games, he had already put up 51 tackles, 2 TFLs, 3 passes defended, and 2 forced fumbles with the patented peanut punch. And his Pro Football Focus numbers, stellar. His overall PFF grade, 93.2. That was first among all inside linebackers. Run defense grade, 91.3. The Niners could really use him there because he's so smart and cerebral, and he's able to attack those running gaps. And then in coverage, down the seam, down the number, in the flat, he can cover pretty much anybody. And his coverage grade, backing that up, 91.5. Number 1 among all inside linebackers. Now, Fred Warner today listed as a limited participant. The Niners did not practice, so this was an estimated injury report, and the Niners did their walkthrough. It's a short week. They're trying to condense and jam everything in after traveling to Philadelphia, coming back late on Sunday, and then, of course, they have to travel to Seattle to play the Seahawks. Round 3 against Seattle this year on Saturday night, Lumen Field, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific is kickoff. Speaking of Fred Warner, speaking of this great Niners season, you know what Fred Warner does every time the Niners pick up a victory? Dub City. Get your Dub City gear now. We sold a few of these shirts from last night's show. We've sold dozens and dozens of them, sending them all across the country, all across the world. This is the shirt right here. I have one. I'll rock it when we're live on Thursday. And then this is the look of the hoodie and the logo on it. So get your Dub City gear now. Extremely affordable as well. And the logo is sick thanks to our design guy, Arnold. Chatsports.com/DubCity. Chatsports.com/DubCity. Very easy. Plug in that link and get your Dub City gear. This also plays not just for this year, but forever, because Fred Warner is a forever great Niner. Still to come here on the show, Ricky Pearsall injury update. That's a big one right there. And the Niners, are they going to make a roster move? They tried out a couple of players today in Santa Clara. Let's get to our sponsor. Today's 49ers Report is sponsored by Harry's Razors. Look, your phone, it's basically a supercomputer, right? Your car, sometimes it can park itself. Your headphones, they cancel noise like magic. But your razor, still overpriced, still stuck in 2008? If that is you, make the switch to Harry's now. Harry's Plus has an advanced pivoting system to reach every corner of your face, refined blade technology for a close, smoother shave, and a weighted metal handle. It feels like an expensive shave, but it isn't. Refills are still cheaper than the other guys, and it's designed with progressive blades for less tug and pull. With Harry's Plus, you get a barbershop quality shave with German-engineered blades. Each blade is honed at 3 different angles to cut hair cleanly at the root without tugging. Blade spacing is optimized to glide smoothly and avoid clogging. Drugstore blades, they clog up so fast, and every cartridge includes a lubricating strip with aloe and vitamin E to calm skin while you shave. Harry's owns their own world-class blade factory in Germany. No outsourcing, no middleman. That same facility has been perfecting blade making for over 100 years because they control the entire process from steel to shelf. They keep costs low. Why pay $30 for refills when Harry's gives you better blades for a fraction of that? And Harry's has launched their most advanced razor ever. It's still cheaper than the Gillette Fusion 5. So here's the deal. For a limited time, our listeners can get the Harry's Plus trial set for only $10 at harrys.com/chat. This set includes the all-new Harry's Plus razor, 1 refined 5-blade cartridge, a 2-ounce foaming shave gel, and a travel cover to protect your blades on the go. Again, harrys.com/chat to claim this offer. After you make your purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. All right, Ricky Pearsall listed as a limited participant. Now, he was doing some sprints last week. He was listed as questionable against the Eagles. He was never close to playing. PCL injury, I've talked about this, but for those of you who don't know, the PCL really stabilizes the knee. That's, of course, really important for a wide receiver. If you're an offensive lineman, you can probably live with the PCL injury. If you're a wide receiver, you're cutting, you're changing direction, accelerating, decelerating, throttling down, restarting, and you're moving your body in every which way to get open, especially against a defense like Seattle's. That PCL is very important. If the Niners can get Pearsall back, it's huge for this game, and it helps their offense tremendously. Just as big as it was for Trent Williams to play against the Eagles, it's kind of how I feel about Ricky Pearsall playing in this game against Seattle. And we've seen the glimpses of him being a special player against the Seahawks in week 1. This vaunted defense, 7 targets, 4 grabs for $108. Against the Saints in week 2, 4 catches for 56, 14 yards per catch. Against the Cardinals, 8 catches, 117 yards. Against the Jags, he was on his way to having another good game. Then he suffered that PCL injury. So he was awesome to start the year. He was one of the best players as far as yards per catch in the league at the wide receiver spot. In receiving yards total, he was a phenomenal weapon for Brock Purdy and Mac Jones. He missed all that time, and then he came back, missed more time. The last 2 games that he's actually played against Tennessee, that's after he was back for a little while. He got going finally after he was a non-factor for a few weeks. 6 catches for 96 yards. Then he comes back after missing time and plays against the Bears in week 17. 8 targets, 5 catches, 85 yards, 16 yards per catch. He's slippery. He runs great routes. He has great hands. He can make plays downfield. He can get open against zone, against man. But the issue with Ricky Pearsall, he's continued to be an injury-prone player. Vertical field stretching ability for him being on the field, it is just so huge for this Niners offense. Speaking of this game on Saturday, the Niners, how about this, could advance to the 20th conference championship in franchise history. That would be an NFL best mark. The Niners also in divisional round games are 7-0 since 2012, meaning they have not lost in the second round of the playoffs since 2012. You look at how the Seahawks defense stacks up. This is why you could really use a Pearsall. Number 1 in points per game, number 5 in yards per game, number 2 in yards per play, number 1 in third down conversion rate allowed, number 4 in the red zone. Mike McDaniel has that team playing extraordinary football. Without Pearsall against the Eagles, what a great time for Demarcus Robinson to have his best game as a Niner. Drive number 1 had that 61-yarder when he shook Quinyon Mitchell out of his shoes. And then he beat Quinyon Mitchell, a first-team All-Pro, who intercepted Brock Purdy twice for the game's first touchdown. Late in the game on the Brock Purdy game-winning drive to get into Eagles territory. Demarcus Robinson making another play downfield. He's a really good player. He just hasn't been utilized all that much this year. If Ricky Pearsall doesn't play, D-Rob's got to have an impact. 6 catches for 111 yards and a touchdown against Philadelphia in the wild card round. 6'1", 203. He's got good size. I think he had 7 touchdowns last year for the Rams, more than 500 yards. He was really good in that Sean McVay offense. We've seen when he actually gets targeted, he can be good in this Kyle Shanahan offense. Are the Niners going to make a move going into this Seahawks game? I would love for them to put in a waiver claim on Darrell Taylor, but another playoff team might beat the Niners to the punch. The Niners did work out multiple players today. Now, with George Kittle tearing his Achilles, he's going to get surgery on Thursday. He's, of course, out for the year. The Niners need to make a move to fulfill his spot on the 53-man roster. Will it be one of these players? Will it be Darrell Taylor? We'll certainly see. But the Niners today working out wide receiver Colton Dow. He is 6'3" with 4.4 speed. Safety Derek Forrest. He's played in 40 games, 37 starts, I believe, with the Washington Commanders. I actually think it might be 17. That might be a typo on my front. Tight end Hayden Rucci is also a player who worked out for the Niners today. He has experience playing with Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel in that Kyle Shanahan tree, scheme familiarity. So you're banged up at wideout. You're banged up at safety because Ji'Ayir Brown hurt his hamstring. You're, of course, injured now at tight end because George Kittle is out for the year. We'll see if the Niners make one of these signings right here. Before we hop on out of here, don't forget to give me a follow on X, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I'm adding my Facebook page here because that has been taken off of late. It's at Chase_Senior on X, IG, TikTok. And then all you have to do on Facebook is search Chase Senior Chat Sports. So much additional Niners coverage over there.